Okay, back to this drive shaft here. Because, it's the thing to do. So, here's my new part. I don't know if I'll actually use it, but here's my new part. And I finally got the cap to this this joint right here off. And now I'm going to go ahead and go on a short little rant here. There were several comments on the previous video where I screwed up, informing me that I shouldn't hit it with a hammer, informing me that I did it wrong, and that somebody would come show me how to do it, and yada yada yada. I really don't care. I show my mistakes because chances are somebody else has made them or will make them, so you might as well show them. I know now that I shouldn't hit it with a hammer. It seemed reasonable to me to set it in there, much like you do bearings. Just tap it lightly with a hammer. If you tap it lightly with a hammer, guess what? It'll sit in there nice and level, and you don't have to worry about it. But, I know I can't do that in this case. So, here's what the carnage was. As we suspected, there are the needle bearings in the bottom of the cap there. No, this cap is not any good because it required a pair of ice grips to get out. But that's why I have the other part. So now all I have to do is I have to get the other cap out, and then after I get the other cap out, I can probably take the caps off of this bearing right here and install it, and I'll be done with this part, and I'll be done with the drive shaft. So I'm going to go ahead and set myself up to do that, and hopefully we get it right this time. If we don't, I suppose it's going to be another $23, something like that, to do this drive shaft. And the reason that I do it this way, yeah, there's videos out there that show you how to do it, but it's always generally the posters of those videos, which they have lots of skills and they've done it for a long time, which is really good, but they just make it seem really easy. It's like they've never screwed up before, and some of them probably have not in many, many years. But as far as I know, you were not born with the talent to operate a hydraulic press. So, take that for what it's worth. You weren't born with the talent, so you had to learn it from somewhere. I happened to just learn mine on video. So, let me do this real quick and get set up, get everything out of it, inspect all the parts and whatnot, and we will go from there. Alright, so I've got the joint out, and I've got all the caps out, and I've cleaned them up. And the caps actually look pretty good. I got all of the needle bearings back in their location where they should be. And both, this cap was fine. It didn't have a problem. But yeah, even the vice grips did not hurt the caps. At least it does not feel like it with gloves on. And I went ahead and traced my just plain finger over it. I've checked the any type of wear in the yoke here, and it's fine. So, and I guess this is a replaceable yoke as well, which is interesting, based on the little roll pin right there. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reuse these caps right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get one of these caps in. I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to get one cap in, then I'm going to put my joint in, and then I'll put the other cap in. So, here we go. I don't know... since I don't have anybody to video for me, and I pretty much take up the full view of the press when I'm doing this, I don't know if I'll get any of this on video, but, and plus, hopefully, here pretty quick, I have better lights over here. Right now, this is the part of the shop that I have not redone the lights in yet, so hopefully I'll have better lights here coming up pretty quick. But let me get this in, let me get a cap in, and then we'll go from there. Well, here it is, all fixed. It was just basically, it took me about 20 minutes to do this because I just kept creeping up on getting the snap rings in. I didn't want to press it too hard and close the yoke here. But got the grease fitting in, got movement in both directions, feels good. So now I can put it back on the snowblower. And the next thing we have to do is replace the seal on the end of the snow, or on the gearbox of the snowblower. So that'll be the next project coming up sometime this summer. And then probably replace the bearings at the same time, so I'll need to get some of those. I think they're just 1-inch bearings. But that's that's it for this project for right now. First use of the press. So after this, we're going to turn around. I got the parts the other day, and here is the remnants of the bearing that went on this crankshaft for this air compressor right here. This Ingersoll Rand T30 air compressor. This is a 2475 T5, so it's 5 horsepower instead of 7.5. It's a single phase. But yeah, we're gonna get this fixed and put it all back together. Basically, you need a press to we needed a press to press this crankshaft off of the drive shaft, or the crankshaft right here. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna line all that up yet, but we're gonna do it. So here is the old yoke from my drive shaft. I'll put that in the corner just in case something happens, but other than that, that's what we're up to. I got new connecting rods and new bearings and everything for the air compressor. So thanks for watching. All right, we're putting these bearings on this air compressor. I'm sure somebody's gonna tell me I'm doing this wrong, but this is the bearing crankshaft. We've got a bearing. I'm just using it as a plate there because it's a Pittsburgh and it's junk. So gonna push the bearing on here, onto the shaft. I'm not even registering any pressure on the press itself. So this is not a hard job for the press. There's not like there's a lot of tension on anything. This thing does use a lot of air in the air compressor. Still no pressure. I wouldn't expect there to be. Really glad that I do videos of this stuff. I wasn't sure where the ring went on the bearing. Fortunately, I went back to the original video that I made, part 2, and it showed this on the crankshaft, because I forgot about that when I took this apart. Problem is, we're going to run out of travel distance. I'm going to have to lift the table up, I think. We're pretty close to full extension there. This makes life so much nicer. Maybe we might make it all the way. It's home. Got all the way in one fell swoop. Just when the pressure popped up, that's when I stopped. There we go. Alright, so the first bearing's on. Now we'll wait 5 minutes for that to retract. I'll wipe some of the rust and everything off of it. Still not really happy with that right there, but I mean, we'll see how. There's no hydraulic fluid leaking, so we'll see. But there's part 1. I'll get the rest of this assembled and we can start putting the compressor back together. Alright, well, we got the crankshaft back together. Got the bearings pushed on, got this balance, I guess balancer put on. Got the set screw back in there. This lining this up right here was a little bit of a pain. But I got that done, so now it's just down to cleaning up the gasket surfaces and everything else and starting to put it back together. That's probably a project for another day. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to lump the two videos together, and this will be a little bit longer video of press work. So thanks for watching.